Had you ever wondered about how a human's moral chemistry works? Well, let Lawrence Kohlberg assist you with that. Let's all together explore it.
Kohlberg time! Come on, grab your friends, learn about moral developments. A busy very easy, don't wanna go and it's Kohlberg time!
This is Mimo speaking. Today we will be discussing Kohlberg's stages of moral development. This topic will be reported by individuals named Mariel Ann Javier, Julian Mariel Corvera, and Marvin Incipido. Sit back, relax, and let us begin this informative video.
Good morning, Dr. May Apat, and to my fellow students, our adventurers, good morning to you as well. My name is Mariel Ann Javier, and I will introduce you to our main highlight for today's discussion. Meet Mr. Lawrence Kohlberg. Is anyone familiar with him? If none, allow me to showcase a little biography of this individual. He is Lawrence Kohlberg, born on October 25, 1927. Kohlberg was an American psychologist best known for his theory of moral development. He served as a professor at the University of Chicago Psychology Department and Harvard University's Graduate School of Education. Even though it was considered unusual at the time, he decided to research moral judgment, extending Jean Piaget's accounts of children's moral development from 25 years earlier. It took Kohlberg 5 years before he completed and published his own viewpoints. Kohlberg was found to be influential in an empirical study that used 6 criteria, including citations and recognition. Thus, he was considered to be the 30th most notable psychologist of the 20th century. Before we proceed to identify the stages of moral development, we need to understand the meaning of moral. To define this, morals are the fundamentals of right and wrong behavior, as well as the positive and negative aspects of human nature. Moreover, it is having or displaying high principles for proper conduct. A lot of people are confused in recognizing morals and ethics. Are both the same thing? And for that, it's both a yes and no. Yes, because they are both concerned in right and wrong conduct. However, ethics are the rules you abide by in order to remain within a community or profession. Your ethics are external and may vary to your environment. On the other hand, morals are your personal values that run to the core of your very being. Your morals are internal and rarely changes depending on you. Kohlberg's theory proposes that there are 3 levels of moral development, with each level split into 2 stages. He suggested that people move through these stages in a fixed order, and that moral understanding is linked to cognitive development. However, Kohlberg also emphasized that sometimes people's stage of moral development can be identified through how they reason out their decisions regardless of their age. Are you curious about what stage of moral development you're in? Let's find out. First, we have the pre-conventional morality. Pre-conventional morality is the most primitive stage of moral development. It starts from ages 3 to 9. These 2 stages that will be stated here are the first 2 reasons of how we come up with specific moral judgments back then. Children's decisions at this age are primarily influenced by expectations of the adults and the impacts of breaking the rules. In this level, we have the stage called obedience and punishment orientation. Authority is outside the individual, and children often make moral decisions based on the physical consequences of their actions. To avoid being punished, one must behave properly. If a child is sanctioned, they must have done something wrong. For example, Anna had not done her assignment because she got busy playing with her dolls last night. When the teacher knew about it, she was tasked to write, "I will do my assignment next time," in 3 pages of a long bond paper. After doing that, she realized that it's not good to neglect her academics because children who do this will get punished for it. However, Edgar has a humorous way of reasoning for the same situation. Let's watch this video.
You know the assignment, come outside. Sir, please, I can explain. Explain what? Throughout the holiday, you know the assignment? Sir, please, I can explain. Okay, go on. When I went home that day, my daddy told me that we'll be traveling to the village. We took a bus, then the plane landed in Ghana. In Ghana? How? Sir, I was also surprised though. I shouted, "What a life." When we landed in Ghana, Wait, I thought you went by bus. When did the plane came to the story? Sir, please don't interrupt me. This is my story. It's not your holiday, it's my holiday. Okay, sorry, go on. So when we landed in Ghana, we asked the pilot, what am I saying? We asked the driver what is happening, and the driver started insulting my daddy and even slapped my daddy self. This is serious. Sir, Inalukideo, it was a very terrible experience. I never knew. Then we decided to take a train to Nigeria. Then the train driver dropped us in Zimbabwe. Wait, how possible? Sir, I also did not believe until I saw Welcome to Zimbabwe. But somebody told me that he went to Nigeria to do the remix with Portable, Zazuze, and I also took a picture with Shatawale and Shatabon. Did you do the assignment? Yes or no? In Zimbabwe, me and my daddy was not able to trust any bus driver again. So we decided to trek from Zimbabwe to Nigeria. But unfortunately, after 2 weeks of trekking, we saw Welcome to Gambia. Oh my god. So that was exactly what my daddy said. But we did not spend too much time in Gambia. We saw a Good Samaritan that was going to Nigeria. So we followed the Good Samaritan. Then the man for a finish at Uganda. Then he said he cannot go to Nigeria again. So we are stuck in Uganda. OMG, did you do the assignment? Yes or no? Sir, calm down. I've not mentioned how I lost my left shoe in Liberia and how we struggled from Kenya to Cameroon, then to Sierra Leone. Skip to the end and tell me, do you do your own work? Yes or no? Okay, sir, let me just skip to the ending. From China, we came back yesterday and I did my own work last night. Oh my god. So you did your own work? Yes, sir, I did my own work. It was a very terrible experience. The moral lesson in this story is that
Next, we have the second stage entitled Mutual Benefit. A child will do something in exchange of a great deal or a prize. More often, this is because they want to satisfy their own needs. An example would be going on a trip to Disneyland after a child gets good grades. The child yearns to go on a trip, and thus, their good behavior is motivated by a sense of reward. To further understand stage 2 of pre-conventional morality, let's watch this video.
Luca, our Boy Scout, received one more merit badge from his mother.
I had 3 best. I have 5. I will have more.
Not wanting to lose to Elsa, Luca thinks about what he can do to help people and get more badges.
What are you doing here?
I have you to have an apple.
These apples are not ripe yet.
Huh? I'm sorry. Oh, wow. Let me hand you. Are you okay? Huh?
It's the wrong way. But it seems that our Luca's good work is not going smoothly at all.
What's the matter? Huh?
Look, those are the badges Luca has always wanted.
Yeah. I lost 2 badges. Huh?
Luca, you want to keep these badges for yourself? But Elsa will be so sad.
It's yours. Thank you, Luca. Wow.
Luca is always a good boy, right?
Thank you for helping me. Wow. This bag is for you.
Don't be greedy and always help others when you can.
As you had observed, these 2 stages found in pre-conventional morality are fun to reminisce because we experienced these when we were kids and relied our moral decisions with the proper guidance of elders. But take note, it's okay if you can still relate to the moral development of a child because who knows, maybe your viewpoints and decision-making skills are relied on fear of punishment, especially if you have strict parents, or reward basis. The next type of morality will be discussed to us by Ms. Corvera.
Good morning, Dr. May Apat, and to my fellow students. Our adventurers, good morning to you as well. I am Julian Mariel Corvera, and as what Ms. Javier said, Culbridge stages of moral development consist of 3 levels and 6 stages. And I'll be discussing conventional morality, which is the second stage of moral development and is characterized by an acceptance of social rules concerning right and wrong. Individuals understand that they are part of society and that society has established values. Authority is internalized but not questioned, and reasoning is based on norms of the group to which the person belongs. At this level, the fairness of rules is seldom questioned. It is common to think like this during adolescence and adulthood. The opinions and perspective of the society is a major factor. A social system that stresses the responsibilities of relationships as well as social order is seen as desirable and must, therefore, influence our views of what is right and wrong. In stage 3, the social approval or the good interpersonal relationships is that the child or the individual is good in order to be seen as being good person by others. Therefore, answers relate to the approval of others, often referred as the good boy or the good girl orientation. It is focused on living up to social expectation and rules in the family and community. There is an emphasis on conforming, being nice, and behave in a good ways. In stage 4, the law and order or maintaining the social order is that the child or the individual becomes aware of the wider rules of society, so judgments concern obeying the rules in order to uphold the law and avoid guilt. The individual under the stage were doing decisions based in rules and laws that will result in a better ways. They were scared and consequences of breaking the laws. For them, they need to follow it even if it is only in their household, in a classroom, or even in the school. One is motivated to act in order to uphold law and order. The person will follow that law because it is the law.
At stage 3, interpersonal accord and conformity guide our moral judgment. Betty sees the fight and wants to intervene, but when she realizes that all the others are just watching, she decides not to get involved. She wants others to see that she is a good girl who is conforming with the ethics of the community. She asks herself, what do others think of me? At stage 4, we value authority and want to maintain social order. When the teacher sees the group fighting, he immediately steps in and shouts, "Stop! Fighting at school is forbidden." He feels that, above all, it is important to follow the rules, otherwise chaos breaks out. He feels it is his duty to uphold the rules that sustain a functioning society. He asks himself, how can I maintain law and order?
Good morning, Dr. May Apat, and to my fellow students, our adventurers, good morning to you as well. My name is Marvin W. Encipido from Optech M11. This morning, we will tackle about post-conventional morality and the stage 5 and 6 under the moral development. And this point, stage 5 and stage 6. Stage 5 is social construct. Stage 6 is universal principle under the post-conventional morality. And before we tackle stage 5 and 6, we will tackle first what is post-conventional. Post-conventional morality is a third stage of moral development, and it is characterized by an individual understanding of universal ethical principle. These are abstract and ill-defined, but might include the preservation of life at all cost, and the importance of human dignity. The post-conventional level of morality is characterized by reasoning that balance accepting societal needs and rights of individuals. It delves into morality that is sometimes contrary to law and social norms. As a person, cognitive ability developed that they accumulate life experience. They may begin to devise their own set of ethical principles. These principles are abstract and often based on issues related of human dignity and justice. Theoretically speaking, the post-conventional stage should emerge in the later teen years and early adulthood. However, in Kohlberg's original research on morality, many people never reach stage 6. He also concluded that stage 5 level is moral reasoning did not appear, and even then, it is not very prevalent. At this point, let us tackle the stage 5, social construct. The child or the individual become aware that while rules or laws, rights exist for a good of the greatest number, there are times when they will work against the interests of particularly individual. This stage characterized by two fundamental concepts, the law and this for the good of society. But there may be times when those laws actually work against individual rights. Grappling with this tension occurred in stage 5. Different people have different values, opinion, and belief which may be inconsistent with specific law and social norms. Grappling with this competing demand requires more advanced intellectual analysis with a possible higher level of cognitive development. At this point, let us move on the last stage, stage 6, universal principle. People at this stage have developed their own set of moral guidelines, which may or may not fit the law. This final stage represents the most advanced level of moral reasoning. At this stage, people develop their own principle or morality. Those principles may be in direct opposition to existing laws, but there is a belief that these principles are universal and apply to all human beings. Human rights, justice, and equality are ideas that one of the most be preferred to defend, even if it means having to pay a greatest personal sacrifices.
Social contract theory says that people live together in society in accordance with an agreement that establishes moral and political rules of behavior. Some people believe that if we live according to a social contract, we can live morally by our own choice and not because a divine being requires it. Over the centuries, philosophers as far back as Socrates have tried to describe the ideal social contract and to explain how existing social contracts have evolved. Philosopher Stuart Rachel suggests that morality is simply the set of rules governing behavior that rational people accept on the condition that others accept them too. Social contracts can be explicit, such as laws, or implicit, such as raising one's hand in class to speak. The U.S. Constitution is often cited as an explicit example of part of America's social contract. It sets out what the government can and cannot do. People who choose to live in America agree to be governed by the moral and political obligations outlined in the Constitution's social contract. Indeed, regardless of whether social contracts are explicit or implicit, they provide a valuable framework for harmony in society.
I have a dilemma. Should I or shouldn't I?
You should because. No, you should not because. It would be good to. It's not a good idea to. You would gain if you. It wouldn't be good to. This is your one chance to. You will lose out on.
Having listened to all the advice given to me, I've made my decision.